Okay, so here we are in Helsinki Fotonordic store, and today we have Oscar Manguy from Mexico, Baja California, sitting on our blue sofa. And Oscar, you are traveling a lot. And where did you come from when you came here?
Okay.
Where did you come from?
Today I came from Saimaa, like I live in eastern Finland in a lake called Puruvesi. So I came today from Puruvesi, took the train early in the morning, and now I just arrived here like 15 minutes ago.
Oh, that's super. And as you are like from Mexico, you moved to Finland, right?
Yes, I have been in Finland for about 5 years, like on and off, and because most of my work is abroad, but I love Finland. It's so beautiful.
Yeah, and you mainly stay in Saimaa area when you are here, right?
Yes, that's what I call home.
Yeah, and you are outdoor photographer,
Correct.
right? Mainly, and you do so great stuff everywhere on the. Like, could you tell a bit about how you became a photographer? What's your road? Where have you been? Where?
Well, I started exploring since I was very young. Like right now I'm 44 years old, but I started when I was 16. And I started doing a lot of explorations in the desert. And I started picking up the camera because I wanted to photograph the rock art. And when I was like 16. So then when I turned 19, I participated in a very long expedition that was about 15 months, like 461 days, where we needed to walk about 4,000 kilometers and photograph pretty much the full coast of Baja California. And my job in there was to assist the main photographers. So I was 19, so I needed to set up the lights, needed to set up the cameras if we're gonna be shooting with like a normal 35 format or like medium format, or if we're gonna do videos. So can you imagine, I was like there with a little bit like old school, like light meter, and I needed to take times and look at certain places. And then this main photographer would be like looking at all the reports and be like, okay, we're gonna shoot at 5 p.m.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that was a very like great teacher from very beginning.
Yes.
I think it's everybody's dream to have that kind of way of starting and learning.
Yes. But now you can do, I think like that was like back in the day was like kind of like writing everything by pencil, which was amazing. But now with technology, you can just like do big jumps.
Yes.
But then you just need to have patience.
Yeah. What's your gear, by the way, at the moment? And have you had other cameras? Of course, you have plenty of cameras before this one.
Yes. So I started shooting with Canon, and then I moved to Nikon, and then I went back to Canon. And then, but when Sony started like making video cameras, then I moved into Sony video cameras. And then from there, I moved to this hybrid A7 systems that are amazing. And so right now I have been shooting, I want to say Sony for the past almost 10 years. And what I love about this setting or these cameras is like I work in a lot of environments that they're like super moist or there's a lot of dust or sand. So then they're weather seal, like some of these like lenses are like weather seal. The body is like super compact, and I just love this setup because I can put it between my jacket and my rain jacket right here, and it's ready to take photos. You can do so many things, and I'm mainly a photographer, but I do also video, so I kind of like a hybrid creator in some ways. And so Sony cameras have been great for that.
Oh, that's very nice to hear. And now, for example, you have A7C.
A7C.
And which lens you have?
I have the 24-105G.
Is that the most used one?
Yeah, this is like my workhorse.
Yeah.
I love this one. I like shooting like full frame because
Yeah.
I love shooting full frame because then it's like very good at just in some ways you have the same values from like
Yeah.
a standard camera,
Yeah.
and I just love this one. I have many lenses, and I want to say what I always have in my bag, especially when I'm doing assignments, is this one, a 28, that then I move into about 35, and then I have the 200, 600, and that's my kit, more or
Yeah.
less. Yeah.
Yeah, and because you travel a lot, you need to have like gear easily carried with you.
Yes. And that's the hard part, like to choose what you're gonna
Yes.
take.
Yeah.
Like that's like super hard, because then it's like you can only choose like one set of combinations. So for example, right now I'm leaving to Mexico to do some shooting in Baja. It's like super sunny, and I think I'm just like taking this lens and potentially a macro lens.
Yeah. So now you came here from Saima. So you came from Saima to Helsinki, and now you are going to Mexico.
Correct.
That's nice. So how about if we talk about feelings and those kind of things, what you have in your photography and great landscapes. So if we think about colors, how about red, for example? What it says to you if we think that red is like commonly said that it's like color of fire, power, willpower, passion. What it like tells to you?
Well, I think red is, for me, it connects a lot with sunrise and sunsets, especially with campfires. And I think I do like the reds because, well, I'm just going one step back. Shooting the sunset photography in the desert is the best place where you can get epic reds and bright oranges, because there is the dust up on the it's like up on the air, like in the atmosphere. So when the sun goes through there, it just creates this beautiful light. And there's a couple of very cool places, like if you go to Atacama Desert in Chile, it's like amazing. Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, or if you go anything in the Southern Desert, if you go to like Baja, for example, it's just amazing. Because sometimes when we think about a sunset, we always think about shooting towards the sun. But I think that's, it's beautiful, but that has been done so many times. But then with that red light, you just turn around and you can find these stones that you don't see in many places.
Well, that's very nice of doing and saying so, because actually that's the way sun sees it.
Yes.
As well.
Yeah.
So you are kind of like the sun photographer in that way.
Yes.
So how about then blue, the color blue? Like I imagine your world could be something to do with oceans probably, or something like this. But if we think about harmony, self-confidence, certainty, probably success. So what's blue to you?
I think I relate blue to, I love, besides the sunsets, I love photographing ice, and especially like old ice, like glaciers. I love the glaciers. I love the glaciers of Alaska. I love the glaciers in Patagonia and New Zealand. They're just amazing. Yeah, they have glaciers up in Norway. But something got excited over there too.
Yes.
and also in Sweden, and I love the ice. And something that I like about glaciers is that with a specific light you can get this very rich blue, and that photo that you take, especially of a glacier, is a photo that is never gonna be repeated, because the ice is always changing, and right now things are globally changing. So then every photo that you take about glacier ice is just like at full, like you're photographing history.
Yes, that's true. And when talking about red and blue, if I'm correct, the light is very important, because in your photographing and in your thinking, I suppose the things in the light are making the red light and the blue light in a
Correct.
way, like the dust and all this. So it's like it's now and then it's never, right?
Correct.
They come and go.
And I'm gonna say, like, as a photographer, like, light is the fuel of your car. Yeah. So then, like, light is, without light, there's no photos. So then, and I think when you're like looking for these locations, I think is knowing the places or going out of the path. That's what is gonna take you to very good photos.
Yeah, most certainly. Very, very fascinating. How about then white color, for example? Is it new start, empty page, innocence, purity, joy, that kind of things? Probably.
Well, white is welcome to Finland. That's the best place for white, and I think there's like two things I really like about the white in Finland. Is sometimes like people here, I hear when a lot of photographers they complain because there's always clouds, you know, they can be cloud cover, and they're like, oh, there's no sun. But then I was like, wow, but you live in a place that you have a huge diffuser. Like you have like the biggest diffuser in the country, or when you go outside. So then you can have all these great colors coming out, especially when you have these, like, if you can call it gray days, because then it becomes like a white diffuser that makes all the colors super rich. But then that's another story. But the other one is snow. And here in Finland, my favorite place to photograph the whites is the national park Isosiote. It's amazing.
You go there every year, or?
Yeah, I have been going there for the past 3 years. For the past 3 years, so probably I will do another trip next at the end of January. And it's just amazing. Because it's like so white, it's so cold. You're like out there at -27, -30, but then everything is so crystal clear and sharp, and there's no place like that. It's very dry, so beautiful, so good.
And quiet too, I suppose.
Quiet. The silence is, you can hear the silence. And you can actually photograph it too.
Yes. Silence photographer. In a way, yes. How about then, because you are doing this, what you are doing with your heart and all, and is there any inspiring person behind? Who's the most inspiring person you have? Or do you have any?
Yes, I do have two. One is Alfonso Cardona, which is from Baja, a photographer from Baja. He passed away like 10 years ago, and he did a lot of explorations in the desert, and I did a lot of projects with him. And he was very good at going to the roots of the places. He really taught me about what is behind the photograph. Is just not only doing a capture, but actually learning what are you capturing, learning about the history, learning about like the person, connecting, making rapport with the place, not only with a person, but making rapport with the desert or with structure and like understanding. So then when you learn about the place, then you can photograph not only like what you see outside, but then you can actually go into the inside and photograph the feelings. And we're like talking about feelings. Yes, and the other one is also a Mexican photographer. It's called Manuel Alvarez Bravo. Amazing work. And connecting people with the environment using beautiful contrast and shadows to like highlight the life in the backcountry. And these two people were very big influence on my work. Alfonso, he mainly shoot in color or chromatic. And Manuel Alvarez Bravo in black and white.
Okay, and you are mainly doing color as
yes.
well. And the one teaching you about the photographing, was he the one also there when you were under 20?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes, Alfonso.
So do you think, what's next? What's your step now? Is it like logical step or jump or hop or
What is
like in the future? Do you go to unknown, or do you go downhill or uphill, or what's your next move? What would you like to do next?
Well, in terms of what is actually physically happening, is like I'm going to Baja California to do some more expeditions and shooting in there. If I get lucky, probably we get some whales, either like blue whales or humpback whales, and I'm quite excited for that. And that will happen for the next like 3 months. That's what I'm gonna be doing. I will come back to Finland for New Year's.
Yeah.
And in terms of what is coming up next year, I already have a trip planned for Patagonia.
Yeah.
And that's also gonna be very cool. Yeah. And then a few trips here that they're not fully consolidated, but it's Sweden, like Swedish Lapland.
Oh, yeah.
By maybe March, there is a beautiful route that I want to document that goes from, if people are familiar with Abisko, you can like do a traverse, like a ski traverse from Abisko to Kilpisjärvi.
Yeah.
And then you like go to like Sweden and Norway and Finland like this, and probably I'm gonna set that one up. What is, in terms of photography, what is always what I'm like doing or what I'm like working on? Because right now technology is getting better and also lighter weight. So always I'm trying to go small, or my challenge is always to have a full production. Like before you used to have like big room for and many people,
Yes.
but now you can just have like small cameras, small lenses, small tripods, small everything. So then you can take the production into even way more remote locations. So then when you actually have like a small backpack, then you can go farther, and in some ways it's like more sustainable. Because I do feel like right now, especially people that have cameras and like to document, especially now, it's like we need to go to the places that not a lot of people go, so we can document that, present it to the public so people can fall in love with nature. And because we're like the messengers, and right now more than ever we need to protect nature.
That's true.
Yes, because I do feel that there's a contrast where places without nature have more value than like natural places that took thousands of years to just develop.
Yeah.
So there's something there that we need to do. Like there's something here, like nature has not a voice, but we are the voice. We're the ones that create beautiful images so people can fall in love with these places. Yes.
The messengers.
The messengers, that's what we do.
Yeah, and you are really doing that. And how many days you are traveling a year approximately? Like you must have
Maybe about
more than half.
Yeah, maybe at least 20 to 25 weeks.
That's a lot.
Yes, more or less.
Carrying your gears and all, you know.
Yes, so it's easier just to have everything on just one pack. Well, just like have one luggage to leave, and then one bag with all my camera gear.
Yeah. Well, that's so super. And your Instagram account we can find also, right?
Yes, it's my Instagram account is Oscar Piste Manguy, or Oscar.Manguy. But also just if you just Google my name, Oscar Manguy, you will find lots of things on Google. It's very easy to find me.
Yeah.
Yes.
And please go also and follow Oscar in terms of like nature also, because we need to see that more. And welcome. Thank you for coming here.
Thank you for having me.
Yes. Yeah, and have all the best to your future.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey.